I want to show you an example of, or a couple of examples of vertical gardening. Most everybody understands that you have to stake tomatoes, at least the indeterminate varieties you do, because they'll get 6, 7, 8 feet tall. I've had tomatoes that were 12 to 14 feet tall. I'm trying something a little bit different this year in that I've used just 3/8 rebar here. This is only about 3.5, maybe 4 feet tall, and the tomatoes, I'm sure, going to outgrow that. But I've tied it with some. Well, first of all, rebar is going to last for probably decades. It's not something you're going to have to redo every year. But I've tied it. If you can see the ribbon there, I went to a nursery house and asked them if they had any of the green tape that they typically tie some of their plants up and trees up to the bamboo post. And so anyway, I bought a couple of rolls of it, not expensive at all, maybe $4 a roll, with 200 or 300 feet in a roll. So I mean, it'd take a long time to use all that. So anyway, vertical gardening, stake your tomatoes in whatever way you choose. In the past, I've used concrete rebar wire. Makes a nice 5-foot cage. I think if you cut it 2 feet long, you get and then bend it back on itself, you get a if I remember right, it's 2 feet will give you a big enough diameter cage, probably 16 inches, 18 inches in diameter, and again a cage that'll last for a long time. I've got some that are probably 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years old. Another example here that I've just started doing this year of vertical gardening is using the cattle panels. If you saw my video on the greenhouse, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. Cattle panels are very, very versatile, and I built a greenhouse out of one. I've done several things, but anyway, this is something I'm trying for the first time this year. I don't see any reason why it won't work well, and that is back up here just a little bit, and that's using the cattle panel as a vertical garden, an archway. Not only is it structurally sound, not only is it going to allow the crops to grow vertically and where you can pick them overhead or at least beside you, but it's also I think going to be real attractive to have these archways. As you can see, I have 3 of them right here in a row. I will plant tomatoes or something in between. I haven't planted that yet, and it's just I think it's going to work real well. You can see I have some tromboncino. It's a trombone squash. I believe it's pronounced tromboncino, and it's already starting to grow up the cattle panel, up the archway. I'm gonna call it a pergola or a grow arch. I don't know what else to call it. But these vining crops like this will attach themselves. You can see the leaders here that reach out and just looking for a place to wrap around. You have to train them to begin with, but once you train them, they wrap around, and again, just looking for a place to wrap around. This one here is I put it up probably in the first maybe a couple of days ago. I kind of looped it through this one and back through this one, but it's already attaching itself nicely, and you just kind of fold it, back and forth until you see the tendrils have really starting to grab a hold of the wire. But it does a real good job, and I think this is going to be really a nice looking addition to the garden. These 2 here I've just planted yesterday in one of them is like a yard long bean, a real 2 feet, 3 feet long green bean, kind of a green bean, I guess. I don't remember the exact, I've got it down here. It's called an asparagus bean, but it gets real long, and it's supposed to be good for stir frying, and it's an heirloom, open pollinated. And I have here, I've got some big mama limas planted, just did those yesterday, hadn't come up yet. And you can also see that I'm doing something in that I'm a little different in that I'm planting in wood chips. I've got hay all over my garden, or some type of mulch, whether it be hay or wood chips. I'm beginning to get some wood chips from a neighbor who has a tree landscaping business, and that is I think the way I'm going to go. I've spread all this hay out. The garden is like 50 by 200 maybe, at least 150, 50 by 150. And if you see way down at the end there, I've got an orchard planted down there. I don't know whether you can see the individual trees from here, but I rolled the hay on down the, this is kind of a little small incline of a hill. Rolled the hay down, went back through it with the brush hog to chop it up a little finer, and that's a story for another video as far as the mulch. But anyway, the vertical gardening, I think you will, I think it's a pretty neat way to go, to use the cattle panels here. These are 2 cattle panels put together like I did in the greenhouse, and I just tie wrapped them here together. Cattle panel, again, in case you're not familiar with them, is 16 feet long. It's about 50 inches tall, and very, very sturdy. They're galvanized. They last for years and years and years. Right here I have something that I've done before, and that's put cattle panels in a fence, and they're 16 feet long, so every 8 feet I put a T-post, and I always grow my cucumbers up a fence like this. But I got to thinking, and here's some burpless cucumbers right here starting to attach to the fence. I've always done that. That's just the best way to grow any type of a vining crop like that. Watermelon's probably a little too heavy, but cucumbers, I've even done melons. In fact, this year I've got a lot of melons growing vertically. And I have another one there that just now started. I planted that from seed about a week or 2 ago, and those are just starting to come up. And then this one, they're starting to, as you can see, starting to vine, to climb up the grow arch. I'm gonna have to coin a name for that. Grow arch. And on top, you can mount, like I did. You can mount a that's a water sprinkler. I don't have a hose hooked up to it now. But on top, I just took a piece of womanized 2x4 and mounted a water sprinkler, as I did on this one and on down the rows. But it's a pretty neat deal. I know you'll love growing vertically. You may want to try a cattle panel for a grow arch. I'm going to try to coin that, grow arch. If I say it enough, maybe I'll remember it. And I've got just a neat little walkway through here, through the grow arch. What do you think? It's a grow arch. I was going to do it at kind of an entrance to the garden. I was going to fence in my garden. Since I didn't fence it in, I didn't use them as an entrance. But I tried to strategically place them in the garden. There's a bluebird. I see a lot of bluebirds landing on my grow arches. But anyway, I think you'll like it. These are Mexican sour gherkins. I tried to plant them last year for a fall crop, and they did not do well. Mexican sour gherkins. It's a small, about the size of maybe a golf ball, a small cucumber that looks almost like a watermelon, kind of oblong, and is supposedly sour to begin with. You don't have to pickle it necessarily, or to put any dill in it to get that sour taste. It's already sour. So this is vegetable spaghetti squash. Going to grow up the arch, and it will fill that arch up. Unless something happens to it, it will fill that arch up and fill the arch with the vegetable spaghetti squashes, which are pretty good size, like probably the size, they're oblong, size of maybe 2 softballs put together, or at least 2 baseballs put together. So try growing vertically. You will not be sorry. And if you can find your way down to get some cattle panels, then use cattle panels, and maybe even use them this way and call it a grow arch. If you're wondering how to haul a cattle panel, if you don't have a 16-foot trailer, if you have a truck, let me see if I can back up and kind of walk you through this. If you'll stick the one end in the pickup, run it all the way to the front of your cab, and then bend it up and let this end sit inside the tailgate. Close the tailgate on it, and basically you'll go down the road with that arch in your truck. Works great, especially if the longer the wheelbase you have, the better. That's 6 feet right there from end to end, which is about a short wheelbase. If you have an 8-foot bed, a long bed, then it's only going to be, so that's about 6 feet tall. Actually, that's about 7 feet tall. Let me see here. And that's 6.5 feet tall. So if you've got an 8-foot bed, it'll only be sticking up about 8 feet. You're not going to be in any danger of hitting anything with it just 8 feet up in the air. But I think you'll like it. You can haul them in just a regular truck. You'll need to tie them down, but they won't go anywhere. There's the wind going through them. There's really no drag. But vertical growing, make you a grow arch. I think you'll like it. Texas Prepper, gone.